Yo, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. Let's say you don't like me. Like, you don't know me. Like, you feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Everybody has a clue. I mean, look.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if you want to dare to be great.
You know what I mean? Leave them big guys alone. Stop trolling them, right? They're the best 147 pounders in the world. They're the best 140 pounders for a reason.
Gervonta Davis took to X after Terence Crawford's stunning victory over Canelo Alvarez, claiming that he could beat Crawford himself. Davis wrote, "I'll swing on him for real," doubling down on his confidence and urging critics to simply watch him perform. He promised to train harder than ever, demanded respect in the sport, and insisted that a win over Crawford would cement his place among boxing's elite. While much of the boxing world was still celebrating Crawford's historic triumph defeating Canelo in decisive fashion, an achievement many thought impossible, Davis's remarks drew sharp backlash. Analysts criticized him for being dismissive, arguing that even if Davis didn't want to praise Crawford, the least he could do was avoid disrespect. They emphasized that belittling such a monumental accomplishment was both shameful and unworthy of a fellow fighter.
It dominated a first ballot Hall of Famer, a 4-division champion, a 2-time undisputed super middleweight, and was the reigning undisputed 168-pound super middleweight world champion. Superstar boxer, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who was down 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. And Gervonta Tank Davis, I'm not even going to read off his accolades because what he did is just nasty work. And this is your king that y'all be praising. Gervonta Tank Davis, instead of applauding the accomplishment, just tip your hat. Just tip your hat. Hey, salute. And if you don't want to salute him, guess what? Just don't say nothing. Just don't say nothing. If you don't want to salute that man, just don't say nothing. Right? And so, Gervonta Tank Davis takes to social media because the boxing world is praising Terence Crawford for what he did. After Gervonta Tank Davis, when the fight was announced, when Terence Crawford was saying he wanted to go up from 154 to 168, Gervonta Tank Davis said he was doing it for the money, not for the legacy.
Long before the current controversy, Terence Crawford had already spoken openly about Gervonta Davis. He made it clear that he didn't view Davis as the type of fighter willing to take risks against superior opponents. Instead, Crawford characterized him as more of a talker who often sidestepped the toughest challenges. Crawford even went so far as to admit he simply didn't like Davis, leaving no doubt that any potential fight between them would carry far more than competitive stakes. It would be deeply personal.
Tank would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it like...
I just really don't like that.
Why?
Cause I just don't like it. Like, I really don't like it. That's like,
just not your cup of tea. That's just not
I don't like it about it. I just felt like, he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah,
but like his core personality and his ways.
Bill Haney, father and trainer of Devin Haney, also weighed in on the debate. He brushed off Davis's remarks, insisting there was no way Tank could replicate what Terence Crawford accomplished. Haney argued that Davis should stop trolling bigger fighters and instead focus on challenges within his own weight class. He emphasized that Davis ought to stay in his lane at 147 pounds rather than chasing attention by calling out champions in divisions where he doesn't belong. To Haney, Davis's comments amounted to nothing more than a publicity stunt.
Gotta ask your thoughts on Tank saying he'd knock out Terence in 6 rounds. You think he was playing, trolling, what? Selling tickets to his new fight?
Is that like the streets?
Nah, he said it
on video.
Huh? He said audio. He said it. He's like, if I tap that chin, you know he chinning.
Listen, Terence already hired us and with a little guy. Anybody 130, 26, 30, 35, Jerry Russell, Tank Davis, cannot go to get to Terence Crawford without going through us. Rolly Romero, leave Earl Spence alone. You see what I'm saying? You come over here and you get that ass taken too. You know what I mean? Leave them big guys alone. Stop trolling them, right? They're the best 147 pounders in the world. They're the best 140 pounders for a reason.
Trainer Greg Hackett spoke with conviction about Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez, calling it one of the greatest accomplishments in modern boxing. He stressed that Crawford now has nothing left to prove after achieving something the sport hadn't witnessed in generations. Hackett pointed out that not since the days of Bob Fitzsimmons and Henry Armstrong had a fighter climbed through weight classes and so thoroughly dominated an opponent as highly regarded as Canelo. What made the moment even more remarkable, he noted, was the way Crawford won. It wasn't a close decision or a lucky punch, but a clinical, commanding performance that erased all doubt about who was the superior fighter. In Hackett's view, the victory cemented Crawford's place among boxing's all-time greats and established him as a legend in his own right. He argued that critics have no grounds to question Crawford's legacy, as his record now speaks louder than any response he could give. For Hackett, Crawford's triumph was the very definition of greatness, and he believes Crawford should embrace his success rather than waste time on negativity.
Armstrong held them all at the same time. Legendary shit. He goes in there and beats arguably the best fighter, or one of the best fighters of his era. Regardless of what. What's your thoughts on that?
The performance was like clean. Like, it was real. It was times where it was close calls. And it looked like Canelo might get him right here. You know what I mean? But find a way out, slip up out here. He worked behind his jab real good, footwork real good, setting the pace. He was creating what I like to call spider web in there. You know what I'm saying? That's basically setting traps with your movement. The part I didn't expect was for Canelo to really approach Bud like Bud, like he was just gonna punch on Bud. What I mean by that is Canelo, when he would hit Bud to his hips or like on the shoulder, because I seen him do it a few times. He was like, Canelo was like looking for those results that he usually get when you do those things. And I was like, I can't believe he's looking at Bud like that. Like he really trying to play Bud. I mean, on the low. He know Bud can fight, but it was like, when I hit you in the hip, you gonna act right. I mean, when I hit you in the shoulders, you gonna act right. And you could tell Canelo's been sported over the years. Canelo's gotten better, a lot better. And Canelo is a legend for sure. But you could tell he's imposed his will on a lot of guys and won off of his poker face alone. You know what I mean? Along with the punishing shots.
Although Terence Crawford has never hidden his dislike for Gervonta Davis, he hasn't ruled out the possibility of meeting him in the ring. Crawford has stated plainly that if Davis is serious, he needs to move up to 147 pounds so the fight can take place on fair terms. For Crawford, accepting such a challenge wouldn't just silence Davis's constant trash talk, it would also provide another opportunity to showcase his dominance against a high-profile opponent. In Crawford's eyes, the decision rests entirely with Davis. If Tank truly believes he can win, he must prove it by taking the risk in the ring rather than relying on bold claims outside of it. Confident in his own abilities, Crawford has welcomed the idea of the matchup, knowing the odds would remain heavily stacked in his favor.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if you want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes.
daring to be great.
You would fight.
Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him to come and touch it.
Wow. They said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
147. I'll make 147.
Ooh, see, oh man,
You gonna have a pre-free
Then what the people gonna say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
DJ Rom, a respected voice in boxing commentary, praised Terence Crawford for his unmatched versatility and mastery inside the ring. To Rom, Crawford isn't simply another great fighter. He is one of the rare few who can excel at every aspect of the sport. He noted that Crawford's greatest strength lies in his adaptability. Whether up against a heavy puncher, a crafty counterpuncher, or a relentless pressure fighter, Crawford has the unique ability to adjust seamlessly, blending offense and defense with precision and keeping opponents in constant uncertainty. Rom described him as a once-in-a-generation talent, whose command of distance, timing, and angles separates him from everyone else competing today. In Rom's eyes, Crawford's bouts transcend mere fights. They resemble works of art, with each adjustment executed like a calculated brushstroke on a canvas. More than just a champion, Crawford is a problem solver in the ring, capable of dissecting and dismantling any challenge placed before him. His consistent dominance, regardless of circumstance, has convinced Roman and many others that Crawford's legacy will remain unmatched for years to come.
Clearly, outboxed him like I said he would. Bud is special, man. He can adapt. He can make adjustments. There's nothing he can't do. I was a little worried because in the beginning, when the fight was announced, because of Canelo's power, Bud coming up, they're like, oh, he come up 2 weight classes. I consider it he came up 3. He only had one fight at
one fight at 54.
Yeah, right.
So I feel like it's 3 weight classes in 2 fights.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that right there, that was a big thing because Canelo is strong. Canelo does hit hard. He got power, and he's comfortable at 168. You understand what I'm saying? He's more comfortable. I didn't know if the weight was going to do something with Bud, but I know there was ways that he could outbox him easily. He did it. Towards the closer to the fight date, I changed my stance on it and leaned more to Bud, which was a good thing because my prediction was right yesterday on it, and just outclassed him. He showed people. I think he still followed a bit of the Mayweather blueprint. Canelo has to plant his feet all the time to throw off his power, let off the power shot. He has to just make that quick stop, real quick, like a millisecond. That's all Bud needs to move out the way. Bud sets him up to get a reaction. By the time Canelo goes to throw that one, Bud sits to the side and catches him napping. It's too late. That means for Canelo, his planning of the feet to throw his power punch, if more people figure that out and really take that into consideration in their training camp, I think he would have more losses. But a lot of them fear the power, like a skull.
Even after achieving something so extraordinary, analysts noted that many fans and commentators remained hesitant to give Terence Crawford the full credit he deserved. They argued that much of this hesitation stemmed from favoritism toward Canelo Alvarez, a fighter who has long been celebrated, particularly in Mexico. By contrast, Crawford, as an African-American boxer, has often had to contend with unfair bias. To critics, the mixed reaction to his victory revealed that the conversation extended beyond boxing itself. It underscored deeper issues of popularity, race, and perception within the sport.
Especially enough for a guy to come 2 to 3 weight divisions lower. Right? So you would be asking the guy to literally just stand there like a smooth slap exercise. Slap me and I slap you. That's not boxing. And that's extremely sour grapes. And my advice to you is this. Although most times people will stay on cold, there's there's exception to the rule where people will say, I'm not going that far. You know what I mean? Like my administration right now, this governing the New Russia, they do a lot of illegal things on a daily. But this pedophilia, some people are saying, no, I'm jumping off the boat on this one. I'm going to go with protecting the kids. I'll go with you with a lot of stuff, but protecting the kids is kind of important to me. Should be, right? It should be, level. So it should be, where you just like, you don't go a certain length, right? It should be borders. So okay, I don't go past that line. And the line should be 10 feet. Or a line should be no objectivity at all in the world of boxing. You saw a great performance, and Canelo just lost, right? This guy is just a better fighter. If he can come up from that weight division and stand in the pocket most of the time, and still win. If you are saying that you don't want Canelo to be able to cut the ring off with this guy that didn't really run at all, then you're basically saying, well, listen, let's just stand and slug. And that's brawling, right? That has nothing to do with boxing. And so people are going to jump off that. And here's something else that's going to happen to you people right now with sour grapes and are racists running around just saying ridiculousness, right? Because you're disappointed.